I have held the world record for pencil sharpening in my past. So most competitive speedrun in the world for a time. Top 10 out of no experience. I think I did all right, but that came with a cost.
Is it true that you legally changed your name to Minecraft?
I have played with my hands and feet, and that is because a speedrun that I did required it. I know I made it to some highlight videos because of my Sands of Time performance, and they said, how many people do you want us to bring? And I said, as many as you think it takes to beat me. And they brought 6 people, and I won.
Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. And this week I'm joined with someone very cool, who I've been watching their content for a decent time now, even though I hate to say it, not a massive fan of Pokemon. I know I'm gonna get crucified most likely. However, today I'm joined with the amazing SmallAnt.
Hi, hello, I'm here.
You are. That's a good start to the podcast that has you on it.
Yeah, me.
How's your day been so far?
Good, just got out of bed, made some food, hopped on a call. You're chatting, ready to go?
It's a good start, and now you're gonna get questioned like it's an interrogation right after waking up.
All right, okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Locked in.
All right. Before we do that, though, I always like to give the intro. You to let us know who you are. Who are you? What do you do? If you have a fun fact for us today, all's yours.
All right. I'm SmallAnt. I have done what? I do a lot of different things. I've done a lot of different things. I started out content with Mario speedrunning. I've done a lot of Pokemon. I've done a lot of Zelda, a good amount of Minecraft too these days, and that was just a good amount of variety stuff. A big variety of things that I do. I mean, you mentioned a fun fact. The go-to fun fact I got is that I have held the world record for pencil sharpening in my past. So
I was gonna bring that up actually. We'll touch on it a little bit more, but we'll kickstart the podcast with that in a second. It's just it's a interesting speed run to take on. I have one question before that though, and then we'll talk about it. Do you go by any nicknames, or do I have to call you SmallAnt this entire podcast?
I think most people have defaulted to SmAnt as a shorthand for SmallAnt.
Okay, SmAnt it is, if that's okay.
So SmAnt is just fine.
Okay, I'm gonna call you SmAnt from now on. I mean, I don't really reference you by name much, so I'm not gonna force it, but it's just good to know in case within talking just bring it up. So
no problem.
So, you mentioned there that you held the world record for the fastest pencil sharpening, right? Yeah,
I took 10 pencils, sharpened them from full unsharpened length down to basically stubs. 10 pencils, all the way down to essentially nothing. That was the record that I held. I think I'm currently third. It's been a couple years.
Oh, did you get a Guinness world record?
Oh no, Guinness is a scam. I ain't doing that. But on Speedrun.com, I had the record. 2 minutes 21 seconds.
Hold on, I need to see this. Wait, I didn't know there's a category for pencil sharpening on Speedrun.com.
Speedrun.com/pencil.
Pencil sharpening. SmallAnt. Oh my god, 2 minutes 20. 3 years ago already? Seriously?
Yeah. Although I will say, in my hands right now, I am actually. It's been on my desk for a bit. It's an upgraded pencil sharpener, so I am returning to it soon.
You're gonna rerun it? Oh my god.
I do. I have to reclaim my record. A lot of people know me as the pencil guy, and it's embarrassing being the pencil guy and then being in third place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What went through your head exactly when you sat down one day and was like, yeah, I'm gonna sharpen 10 pencils as quick as I can? Did you just do it because you could? Was there any reasoning behind it?
I was watching. Well, at the time, I was relatively things were starting to do well on YouTube, and I was like, I need some cool ideas for weird speedrun stuff to do. I don't want to be chained to Mario for the rest of my life. And so I just watched an EasyScape video who had done a top 10 weirdest speedruns, and one of them in there was pencil sharpening. And I was like, you know what? That's stupid. I'm gonna try it. And try it I did.
And you just smashed the world record.
Yeah, well, not at first. It was a couple month endeavor. There's a big whole story to it. When I started, the record was 35 minutes.
Oh.
And by the time I got the world record, it was 2 minutes 21. It improved fast once I started doing runs. So it's a very competitive time, a very revolutionary time for the pencil sharpening community.
I'm looking at the stats here, and then 36 is a 7 hour 21 minute time. So they were really slow now when you look look at it. But like you gapped obviously when you held the record, you gapped second place at the time by a full minute and 29 seconds, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I got just a really good run. I mean, second place, I think at the time was Foot Cream.
It was
the username.
Yeah.
And the reason why they had beaten me was they found this like insane sharpener that just eats pencils. They found it like their local Walmart or something for like 99 cents. And I checked my local Walmart, didn't have any. And so I was like about to give up. And then he actually messaged me and was like, hey, want the sharpeners I use? And I was like, yeah. And so he shipped me like 50 of them. Like he went to his Walmart, bought out every sharpener they had and shipped them to me. And it was what made the difference. So like shout out to Foot Cream. Wouldn't have had the world record without him. Like insane sportsmanship on his front. He had better equipment and he just gave it to me for free. Like
what is if anyone looking to try and get the time as well, if they decide that's what they want to do for a stream or even just for themselves, is there any RNG? Like what type of pencil what type of pencil sharpeners would be like the best to use?
That is, I mean, technique is very important. There's like a specific technique that is sort of widely agreed upon as the best technique, but it really doesn't mean anything unless you have the right sharpener and pencil. There's definitely certain types of pencils that are better. Like the higher quality your pencil is, generally the smoother it'll go through the sharpener, the less it'll just chip and break and get stuck. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, quite often the worse the pencil sharpener is, the faster it'll eat the pencils. So the strategy is and I don't know why. I think they have a little bit more give, where like good pencil sharpeners, obviously pencil sharpeners, the purpose is to sharpen the pencil using the least amount of effort and material, right? But we found the cheaper sharpeners, they like bend and flex and they eat a lot more of the material to do the same job, which is actually ideal in this situation.
Yeah, because you're trying to get rid of it as opposed to just like when you're in class or whatever, you need to actually have a pencil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. One interesting speed run to go for. I mean, I've seen a lot of interesting ones in my time, but the sharpen 10 pencils, and I thought it'd be so easy, but after listening to you, it feels like there's a full-on strategy of like getting the perfect pencils, getting the perfect sharpener, like one bad sharpen, and that's a big time loss as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like a physical, it's pretty physically demanding. Like if you have to have a good technique. Like at my peak, I could have probably started a fire with my bare hands with the like, you know, the spin down on a stick with your hands.
Yeah.
Like another piece of wood. Like I could have probably done that at that level. Like it's a good amount of physical, good amount of physicality to it. Like everyone that I know that has tried it just on a whim has taken over 20 minutes on their first try, even knowing all of the strategies and ideas of the modern pencil sharpening era.
What would you say is harder, pencil sharpening or a Rubik's Cube?
I mean, Rubik's Cubes really aren't that bad, right? You can learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube in like an hour and a half, 2 hours if you just, you know, it's like 7 sequences of moves you got to memorize to learn a Rubik's Cube. Anybody can do that. But pencil sharpening, you know, that can take months to get good at.
Exactly. Training your hands as well to not get cramped or injured while doing the perfect
Oh
sharpening.
no, like by the time I was done, I had calluses on my hands that you could physically see. They were the weirdest calluses. It was along the pinky and that whole side of my hand. It was just like thicker. It was weird.
It looked like you'd just gone out the mines as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the graphite on me too, yeah.
Speaking of pencil sharpening then, your name is SmallAnt, to full name you here. How did you get the name?
I was 10 years old and I was at school in the computer lab and we had a little bit of free time. And a friend of mine reached over and was like, I looked over at a friend's computer and he was playing this game. I was like, yo, what is that? And he's like, it's called RuneScape. It's like, can I try it? He's like, okay, go on to Miniclip and make your account. And so I go and I made an account, Red Orb 11 or something like that, because I was really into Pokemon at the time. I made the account and I played it and it was so fun, bro. It was the best. And I get home and I go to log in. And I can't remember the password. Don't know what I did. It was the first account I had ever made, and I just forgot what password I set. I was sitting there, and I was like, I played for like an hour. I can get that back. Whatever. I'll just make a new account. And I was thinking about, I was like, I don't want to use the same username. That's weird. And then I saw it in the window, on the windowsill. There was an ant walking. And so I was like, okay, SmallAnt. Oh, that's taken. SmallAnt 1. Okay, SmallAnt 1. And then I just never changed it. I got rid of the 1, but I've just never changed it. I've always had the same username.
It's so interesting to me because I've now spoken to Anthos, Antfrost, and Venom, and SmallAnt, and I'm pretty sure you've all had different scenarios as to why you got the name Ant. And if I remember correctly, you're the first person who it actually relates to a physical ant.
An actual ant?
Yeah, like you're the first person who actually has the name because you looked at an ant, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like, I'm not even particularly all that fond of ants. I just saw one at the right time.
I don't know much about space, but my name is Orbit, so I just was in a Rainbow Six Siege clan and was like, that sounds cool, and I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool, Insane Orbits, let's rock with that. So same vibes, don't worry about it. What about content creation then? So if you made the name when you was 10, I'm assuming you weren't making content at the time, or were you like, did you just find out about YouTube, or how many years later until you started doing content?
Soon after I had made the SmallAnt username, my family moved to a place that did not have any reliable internet. So up until I was like 16, I didn't really have access to the internet unless I was at school, basically. So I didn't really consume all that many YouTube videos. I didn't do any online gaming. I'm an only child, and I was kind of living in the middle of nowhere, no internet. So I kind of just played stuff on my own. It wasn't until until after university I started doing content creation. What did it was in those years when I didn't have internet yet, I played a game called Little Big Planet series, a PlayStation exclusive that if you don't know what it is, it's like, what are we saying? It's like Mario Maker, but way cooler, and you can just do a lot more.
Isn't that little
It's
character?
It's like Mario Maker if it wasn't for babies.
Is that little character, right? The little looks like they're like sewn or knitted. What's the word for it?
Yeah.
Crocheted character.
Yeah, Sackboy. So I ended up you can do a lot in that game. Like I made like I'll get into that, I guess. But I played that game a lot growing up, but I never really saw a level to completion. Like I never finished an actual project that I had ever started. And I'd always had some ideas for like, oh, I'm making this in the game would be cool, making that in the game cool, but I never had any follow through. It was until I was taking a year off from university. I think I was like 19, and my girlfriend at the time showed me this thing called Twitch. And my first introduction to Twitch was she showed me this streamer called Caseytron. And the way my girlfriend at the time described it, she said, "Yeah, we just insult her until she cries. It's great."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, that's how nice." And I don't know why, but after that, I was like, I could try streaming. Wait, there's just someone playing games when people are watching?
Right on my alley.
Like, I guess as long as they don't insult me till I cry, like, I'll be fine. So I started by getting the Twitch app on my PlayStation 4. And the first content that I created was just building levels in Little Big Planet 3. And I did that for a couple of years. That was my first little introduction. I wasn't doing videos. I was just making levels. And I did a lot. I did like a full sort of 2D Legend of Zelda style game in the Minish Cap, Link's Awakening kind of style game. I did like a 3D third person like twin stick shooter in the game. Did a bunch of different things, and then eventually you get bored of stuff. You're doing it every single day. But I was really into it. Like 3 people were watching, maybe for like a couple years, but eventually one of those 3 viewers was like jokingly in my chat said, "Hey, there's an international Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning tournament. You should join." I saw it in my little Discord, and I taken a look, and you know what? I don't have anything to do this week. I need something new to try out. Screw it, I'll go. And I don't enter tournaments to lose, so I put my all into it, and it eventually turned into YouTube videos. But there's a whole other arc to get into for that. But it was I happened to just fall into it, really. I think growing up, the idea in the back of my head was like, man, it would be so cool to be one of those YouTubers. But it was always like it's like you're always thinking of it like just the way you daydream about, oh man, it'd be cool to have the flying superpower, right? It's not something that's going to happen. It's just kind of nice to think about. But here we are. I can fly now.
It's a bit like my situation where, I mean, ever since I was younger, I've always watched YouTube content and I've always wanted to do it. And I feel like now with the podcast, I mean, it's not obviously full-time content. It's a step in the right direction to hopefully being a full-time content creator. I mean, I'm not anywhere close and I don't expect it anytime soon, but the dream is there and that's what you had. And it's like, I always wanted it and now I have it.
Yeah, it's very surreal.
At what point then? Oh, sorry, actually, no, before I ask that, when you said about entering the tournament, did you do any good in it? Did you win? Did you come close to winning?
So the thing with that tournament is that there's something to know about Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning. When Super Mario Odyssey came out, every like major Mario speedrunner on the planet was playing that game. Like the world record holder for Super Mario Galaxy was playing it. The world record holder for Super Mario 64 was playing it. The world record for Super Mario 64 was playing it. The world record holder for Super Mario Sunshine was playing it. And they were like veterans doing it for years. And so the competition was immense.
Yeah.
But I'm very stubborn and very competitive. Honestly, it's a character flaw, I think. I'm definitely too competitive because again, I don't enter tournaments to lose. So what I ended up doing was I got home from work after signing up for the tournament and I played for basically every waking hour. It was about 16 hours a day for the entirety that the tournament ran. And the tournament ran for a while where it was an online tournament. Everyone kind of did it at their own pace. So there was maybe like one race every week or two. And so my goal in the tournament was to get better than my opponent by the time our race came out. And I managed to do that until the semifinals of the tournament, where I had to race against the world record holder.
Oh, crap.
And I lost against him, but I ended up, I beat the person and I got third place in my first ever tournament. So in the 3 months that the tournament ran, I think it was around 3 months, I went from 0 to, I think on the leaderboard placements of like the speedrun leaderboards, not in the tournament, I think I was definitely top 10 in the world at the very least. So most competitive speedrun in the world for a time, top 10 out of no experience. I think I did all right, but that came with a cost. You can't play a video game 16 hours a day every day with no breaks for 3 months without problems. I gave myself repetitive strain injury, my thumbs.
Oh.
And that actually caused me to make YouTube videos because I was like, oh, I can't play the game, but I still want to be a part of the community, so I'm just going to start making some videos instead. Because I can pull out, I could play 30 minutes a day. So I did. That's what actually started it. Was I needed a break from the hardcore grinding, and so I went to content.
Isn't it crazy how the world works? Like, you know, you kind of just popped out of nowhere. You was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this, and then you just did amazing in it, and then because of it, you got injured. Like you said, I'm kind of just repeating your story here, but it's just crazy how the concept of it went from like, oh, I just come into this scene to, oh, look, I'm doing YouTube content, and now just sitting on the InsideMC podcast. So you know, it's a crazy journey, I must say.
Yeah, it's been a winding path for sure. Twists and turns.
Looking at your oldest videos here, are these actually your oldest, or do you have some unlisted / privated videos?
I have a few unlisted videos, but the first like 13 videos are the first 13 videos on my channel, I think. Like I think the first videos on my channel are just like Super Mario Odyssey speedrun tutorials.
Yeah, they are.
And I made those because I couldn't play the game and I was just sitting in the community Discord and people keep asking the same goddamn questions over and over again. I was like, I'm just going to make a video, so if anyone ever asks a question, we could just send them the video and they won't have any more questions. But I do have a few unlisted from early on. I did a little series where I'd race people in Super Mario Odyssey, just like 60-second races. Hey, get from here to there. I don't think it was that good content, so I took them down. But that's basically the only thing, is just a couple of early collabs I did with some people. It's actually really weird, though, looking at the list of people that I did collabs with, because by some odd chance, I think 90% of the people that I collabed with are now full-time content creators that are like big themselves, when none of us were at the start. Like here, I'm gonna grab some names here that I've raced with, and it's crazy that I'm just gonna go through my YouTube analytics and I'll just check. I'm pretty sure they exist. They're just unlisted. We scroll the way down. Here we go. I'm almost there. All right, because a lot of people came from the Super Mario Odyssey community. I mean, you've done a lot of Minecraft-related people, right? Did you know that Steinberg was a Super Mario Odyssey speedrun moderator for the leaderboards?
I did not. No.
Yeah. No. He's been watching me before I played Minecraft. He was watching me when I was speedrunning Super Mario Odyssey. Like, he is one of my longest subs, and so I know him from way back, even before he started playing Minecraft speedrunning.
Isn't that strange though? Like you've gone from, and I've seen it with happen with like content creators. Or there's people I've had on the podcast who've gone from like a moderator in someone's chat or like a friend, like or just someone a viewer or something to someone's like who they're collaborating with loads. And it's like in your case, you went from like you and a few others speedrun this game or moderated or watched or played the same game, and then you now all end up speedrunning Minecraft, and it's like what?
Yeah, it's just well, not even that alone. Like yeah, okay, I'm looking through the list. Let's see. I collaborated with early on Nicrovita, who I think he has like 200k on YouTube now. Lil Aggie is one where if you watch like Souls games or Elden Ring, like he's one of the best speedrunners on the planet. I'm pretty sure he's at like 500,000 subs now. Lil Curbs,
okay.
he's the Mario Maker goat. Who else was I? So there's a couple other. I'm sure I'd have to scroll, but
And these are in the
Limcube.
unlisted videos.
Yeah, these are unlisted videos. It's just little collab videos that are like 20-30 minutes of just us playing the game, kind of relatively unedited. Bad content, but little absurd.
But 6 years ago, you never sat down and recorded this video thinking, damn, in 6 years' time, I'm going to be one of like the most known speedrunners in the world, or I'm going to do this content, or I'm going to do this content. Like, you guys just never thought about that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always in the back of my mind, so I'm doing the best I can to try and be entertaining. But I think back then I didn't have my finger on the pulse of what was entertaining.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started off with, and I mention this all the time, but the regular listeners are going to be like, can you stop? I made command block tutorials. That's how I started content creation, and they had like an instant impact of doing pretty well. So a question I wanted to ask is, with your old videos, obviously to bring up the view counts here, they've all done amazing. Is that just built up over 6 years, or were they like instantly good when you started your channel?
Some videos were good, some videos were not. Definitely because I had an initial sort of Mario viewer base from my speedrun tutorials. A good amount of my Mario videos did well. Like I think my first stream highlight video, I was doing just like a really hard Mario Odyssey meme speedrun essentially, or like a challenge run speedrun. With that one, very few people in the world had done it, and I saw there was a couple of videos that had all gotten a bunch of views, and I was like, I want to try that. So tried it, uploaded it, it did well because I think just the interest was there, and there wasn't a lot of people making videos on it because it was a very high skill, no incentive to do it, and it takes a lot of game knowledge and skill to do it. Like it's a pointless thing that's difficult, but people were interested in it at the time, and I had the ability to actually pull it off, so I think that helped a little bit. So the Mario stuff did well. Super Mario Odyssey blindfolded, that one I remember doing really well. I remember I worked at a sawmill at the time.
That video was so good, by the way. I just want to say,
yeah,
I went back and refreshed myself because you did two, right? You uploaded 2 videos of it. Yeah, I tried to beat, and then I was the first to beat. I remember I went back the other day and just refreshed my brain to see what it was like, and they were good videos.
Yeah, I ended up just uploaded those, and I remember those doing very well. Obviously not millions of views because I had like 1,000 subscribers from my speedrun tutorials, but I think it had like 50,000 views or something, which was absurd. Like 50,000 views, 50,000 people watched me do this? That's crazy. So I did like Mario Odyssey for a bit, exclusively Mario Odyssey, but I did Breath of the Wild 100%, which did okay. Pokemon did really bad. Pokemon was not, it was, those videos performed really poorly. I kept them up just because I only played Pokemon growing up. Like that was one of the only series that I played. For just every day. So I really enjoy Pokemon, and I wanted to figure out a way to fit it into the content creation stuff, because once the videos started to get that, the 50,000 views, I was like, wait a minute, maybe there's something here. But I didn't want to be chained to Mario, so I would experiment. Pokemon was a failed experiment for a while until it wasn't, until I think first video where Pokemon actually like did okay was, I think I did a Pokemon thing where I think the first Pokemon video that did well was Pokemon Crystal, but every battle my team is a random. And then once I uploaded that one hit the algorithm, and then all of my other Pokemon videos picked up. So like now these days it looks like they've always done well, but they did awful for longest time, for like months, and then I guess YouTube found an audience for him.
It's kind of crazy how you were able to like transition it so well, though. I've known, and even myself on Insane Orbit specific channel, it's always quite hard when you're trying to transition out of content or transition into a different content. And obviously, I know, like, I'm not saying Mario and Pokemon are similar in any sense, but I feel like, I know, compared to switching from like Minecraft to Call of Duty, for example, I think it's like kind of in that sense, if that makes sense. But I think with your content, I mean, like, you made a tweet the other day, or I say the other day, I was like, was it a week ago? It was on July 20th, so 9 days ago from recording this. Someone made a tweet about not being able to win with Whoopie Boy. And then you retweeted it with your video from 3 years ago of how you crushed Pokemon Platinum with a single one. And then your most viewed video, the Pokemon, but you can only use shinies. It's kind of crazy how, like, you said you were struggling-ish with Pokemon content. And now in your top 8, there's 1, 2, 3...
6, right?
4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. There's one Mario, the pencil sharpening one, and then 6 Pokemon videos, which is just mental.
Yeah, Pokemon just, it really worked as well. I think definitely hit my stride on a lot of the Pokemon videos.
What is it that you like about, like, these kind of games specifically, right? Because there's so many games. You can speedrun any game in a sense, right? And like, obviously kind of cementing yourself as a speedrunner. If I miss any of the games or the names, let me know. But there's been Mario, there's been Pokemon, you did Zelda as well at one point, I believe. Minecraft. Is there any other games that you speedrun?
The speedruns that I've done, there's been only a few speedruns that I could say I've taken seriously. I definitely took Super Mario Odyssey seriously. Minecraft I took pretty seriously. I've never actually done any Pokemon speedruns. I've done one Pokemon speedrun for 1 day, but I think I got like 3rd in the world or something because the speedrun category is really new. It was the Brilliant Diamond, a Shining Pearl. They had just come out. They were super glitchy, and I learned the glitches and did the speedrun and I got like a really good time. So I think I've only ever done one Pokemon speedrun. It's always just been like random challenge runs and there just happens to be a timer. So Mario or Super Mario Odyssey, Minecraft, still sharpening. I've done Breath of the Wild speedruns, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I did both 20% and 100% speedrun, and all shrines. Tears of the Kingdom, I did any percent for a little bit, fun. And Super Mario 64, I could say I've seriously done 16 star for about a month. What else? I think, is that it? Is that all the speedruns I've ever done?
I think that's it. Oh, you've done Only Up.
Oh yeah, I did do Only Up for a little bit. I got pretty decent at that. I think I got around a top 10 time.
What was the Pringles speedrun?
Oh, that one was just like a meme speedrun. That was a really early video. That's a deep cut. I think I was at Games Done Quick, like the big speedrun charity thing, and there was like 100 people crowded around this one TV, and they were all watching people speedrun this Pringles game. They were trying to make it the most speedrun game on speedrun.com, and so they just had like a line of people where one person would do the speedrun, and then they'd add them to the leaderboard immediately because the leaderboard moderator was like literally physically there. So they ended up having like 100 people just do this speedrun, and it's just like a bootleg game for Sega Genesis. It's like a crappy little bootleg game, and I was like, I got home and I wanted to try it myself, so that's where that one came from.
That's interesting. What? I thought it was gonna be like fastest to like eat a Pringles can or something. I don't know. No,
it's just like a bootleg Pringles game where you play as the Pringles head guy. He just floats around, and whenever he hits a chip, he gets like a jump, and you just have to like jump from Pringle to Pringle, collect all of the Pringles, and that's the whole game. There's like 9 stages or something. It takes like 10 minutes to beat.
I'm gonna get into the OG minds of British people for a second here. I don't know if I don't know how many British listeners I have, and I don't know how many British listeners over like the age of like 18 I have. I think there's a good few. But if anyone remembers, back in the day, there used to be a Dick and Dom launch game, I think it was called. And there was these like 2 people, I believe they were twins. There's a game you could play on the PC. There's also like other ones. I don't know if this was just an English thing, this one, but there's like Tool Drama Wipeout or something that you could play. And then there's like these little library games. If you went to like any British library like maybe 10, 15 years ago, you could log on and play these like little specific games. Like, so for some reason, when you said about the Pringles thing, it just reminds me of those, which is such a childhood memory. Like, you've unlocked something very, very deep in my brain right now, unintentionally as well. So I guess I want to get into talking about Minecraft, but I want to kind of save that till last because the whole branding is Minecraft. But we're trying to kind of go out from just specifically being Minecraft. So if I save that to the end, it kind of helps with that. I have a few like
problem.
more kind of direct general questions about you,
Sure.
just to kind of dwell into your mind, really. So, is it true that you legally changed your name to Minecraft
Yeah.
last name?
Yeah, I did. I did it for a bit to try and win an award. Didn't work. I didn't win the award, which was unfortunate. I did not win Minecraft Streamer of the Year, sadly.
Oh my god, wait. That's so smart.
But it is nice in the way where I don't need to worry about being doxxed. Like the last name is just out there. It's different than my actual family's last name as well.
Yeah.
I don't, unfortunately, come from a long line of Minecrafters. So like my name, it can be out there, and also my family doesn't ever get affected by it, which is a positive. It's also just kind of, it creates some good stories, because having the last name Minecraft in real life causes some interesting interactions with people that look at my ID.
So when you got it, so on your passport, it literally says your first name and then Minecraft.
Yeah.
Have you thought about changing your first name, like legal first name, to Smant?
I figured I'm fine with the name Tanner. It's good enough. If I had to change it to anything, I think at this point it would have to be Steve, right?
Steve Minecraft.
Steve Minecraft,
Yeah,
right?
I prefer Tanner. I think Tanner's a nicer name. No offense to any Steves out there. I just feel like Tanner Minecraft flows a lot better than Steve Minecraft.
Sorry, Steves, I'm better than you.
as chosen by me, apparently. Yeah. You did, however, win Streamer of the Awards though the year before. It was literally not best Minecraft streamer. That was in 2023, which you should have won technically by having the last name Minecraft, but we won't get into the details
Exactly.
there. The year before though, you won best speedrunner.
Yes, yeah, best speedrun streamer. I did win that award a couple years ago.
Were you there in person for that? Like, did you get up on stage? Did you shake hands, do a big speech, or did you a pre-recorded video?
No, I can't remember what it was. I think there might have been like a new game coming out or something. I had to stay home for it, so it's like a day beforehand I got a message. And hey, you won. Do you want to send like a video in? A thank you. And I was like, okay. So I just pre-recorded a little message, a very carefully worded message, mind you, being like, thank you. I know this is voted as the best speedrun streamer, but there's a lot of great runners out there that are more dedicated than me, and shouldn't be angry at me for winning this, please. Is basically the message. But it was cool to win. I think it was the first year of the streamer award, so being the first ever winner of that prize was an honor.
I saw and I won't say anything in specific, but throughout the years of like awards in general, I've seen a lot of people go, oh, this person should have won it, this person should have won it. And I think everyone kind of deserves it in no sense. In a way, I don't really know how, but I'd like to say there's some way in which I deserve it. I don't come close to a lot of people, but I think if you work hard enough and you're good enough, I think people can be good in their own ways. I don't think just because you overdo it or just because you do this or you do this. Like for instance, Kai Cenat, I'll just use an example. He puts a lot of effort into his streams and he does an amazing job, to be fair to him, and like obviously he deserves an award of some sort, but that doesn't always mean he has to always win it because he always does that. Like other streamers can just be good for being funny or by building up a loyal audience or by doing this, by doing that,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, every person in the world is doing their absolute best, right? Everyone is doing the best they can. Everyone is putting in all the effort that they are able to. So it's kind of all the same in the end.
Yeah. Kind of looping into the Super Mario Odyssey part as well. I forgot to bring it up at the time. You can play it with both your hands and feet at the same time, right?
Yeah. There was a speed run. Actually, the first sort of challenge speed run that I was talking about, my first ever stream highlight, was a challenge run where you have to do this. I have played with my hands and feet, and that is because a speed run that I did required it. I did a speed run called Minimum Captures in Super Mario Odyssey. At first, the speed run, in Super Mario Odyssey, there are enemies that you can take control of by capturing them, and this speed run does that the minimum amount of time. So I think for a while the minimum was like 14 things. But then there was this one trick that was like brutally difficult that required you to have like really good timing, and it cut it down to like 13. And then there was another trick found that forced you to play in 2-player mode to skip another 3 and then another 7 later on. But you had to play in 2-player mode. So to play in 2-player mode, you had to control Mario and his companion Cappy at the same time, doing like different things. So yeah, I would put a controller on the floor. I would use my left foot to move around Cappy, my right foot to press all the buttons and stuff, and just had to coordinate both my hands and feet to do that. I know this is, it sounds a little absurd, but it's easier than it sounds. Like, if it's not a lot of mental overhead to actually pick it up. I found it sounds like, okay, you're coordinating all 4 limbs to do something, but it's not that bad. It is, an additional thing to consider, but once you get to the point where your hands are automatic, you can just focus on your feet.
I gotta say that I respect the dedication though, to like, I know you said it's probably easy once you learn it, but to go through that length rather than just switching between controllers to, like, I mean, you probably can't, but you get the idea. To go through that length to just complete a speedrun, I mean, full respect, honestly. And then the final pit thing I'll bring up then before we get into Minecraft is that your mum is also a streamer.
Yes.
Under the name
Yes.
SmallAnt Mum. Are they consistent?
Yeah, SmallAnt Mom is a streamer. When you say consistent, you mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, how often do they stream?
Oh my god, I think she streams more than I do.
Oh, so more consistent than you then.
Yeah, she loves streaming. Like, it is all she talks about. She is very into it. She likes it a lot, which is weird because maybe 5 years ago, I don't think she had touched a video game in like 30 years. Like, she was the mom where if like she minimized a window, she wouldn't know how to find it.
And now she's a full-time streamer.
Now
Crazy,
she just
right?
streams and has like her own YouTube channel and uploads videos and stuff. And like, I don't know, she's at like, I don't know, like, how many freaking followers does she have on Twitch? Like, she goes crazy. Yeah, she has 87,000.
Holy.
What the heck? Yeah.
A big time.
I know. She goes crazy. Very busy. But yeah, she likes it a whole lot. It's very surreal. Just one day out of the blue, she said, I want to try streaming. And I was like, okay, Mom, sure you do. And then she called me on the weekend being like, okay, I downloaded OBS. Help me set it up. I was like, okay. Set her up and
really
off she
long
went.
streams as well. 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours. Like, I stream for like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours now. Like, that's a long time to be consistent with it, especially going from, like you said, not even being able to unminimize the tab.
Yeah, she has definitely learned a lot in the last couple of years. She's she speedruns Mario Odyssey now sometimes. Like, it's crazy.
Learning from the best. Look at that. I'm talking about you in the sense you're learning from the best.
Yeah, exactly. I learned from the best. That's where all of it comes from.
Moving to Minecraft then, I think to get the basic question out the way, more so for the timestamp here, because I know some people might go ahead and be like, I only want to listen to the Minecraft part. That's fine. Why did you pick up the game Minecraft?
Like with Little Big Planet, I really like games that had you build stuff. So I think once I turned 16, I had an arc where I played a bunch of Minecraft online on servers. It wasn't really competitive stuff. It was mostly sort of what was it? Like building a base, interacting with people. So I had a lot of nostalgia for Minecraft. I had watched a Minecraft speedrun at GDQ from a runner who will go unnamed, and I was like, man, that'd be cool, but Ender Pearls suck. I don't want to do that shit. Like a year later, I had seen, I think Simply was speedrunning Minecraft. I jumped in, and then I saw, the moment that I clicked on the stream, Simply, he just runs Super Mario 64. What is he doing playing Minecraft? Clicked on the stream, it loaded, and the moment it loaded, I see an Ender Pearl fly out of this egg right into his face, and I was like, you don't need to kill Enderman anymore? I'm in.
Oh, of course, because 1.16, yeah, piglin trading and stuff. I completely slipped out of my mind, right?
Yeah, so once I saw that, and then I saw a bunch of other of my content creator friends trying it out, I figured it was time to give it a try, and I dumped an ungodly amount of hours into trying to speedrun Minecraft, and I got a lot better pretty quickly.
A little while back on Midweek MC, actually back in February, geez, already, holy. We had Milo from GSA on the podcast, for anyone who doesn't know that.
Oh, yo, Milo, yeah, Milo's great.
That is the Global Speedrun Association, and as you've heard here, very, very great person. Have you ever played in that? I know that recently there was an announced tournament which Corey and Feinberg are going to be playing in. Have you ever been in that before?
I have been in one GSA event. It was GSA Legends, where they had invited just a couple of creators to come in games for a weekend. It was very low key. It was at like some random studio in LA. I hung out with a bunch of different speedrunners from all over the place. I think at the time, who all did I see? Like Cosmic Shift. Ludwig showed up for a bit. Simply, I'd have to check exactly, but it was just a group of people. It basically just hung out for the weekend and like screwed around on stream. So no, none of the new competitive event stuff. It was definitely very early on in GSA. Actually, I forgot about this.
Oh.
I did help run some GSA events before I did serious content creation.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I did a thing called Super Mario Odyssey tasks where I would give people these little like 3 goals in Super Mario Odyssey, where it's like hit a checkpoint, kill 1 enemy, get 10 coins, and they would have to find the optimal route in a random area in the game to go do those 3 random things. And that was like a weekly thing, and I think it ended up going on. I think it might still be on their channel, Super Mario Odyssey tasks, and I organized that event.
Do you ever make a return to it then, either through organizing like an event or through playing yourself, you reckon?
Not tasks, but I mean, I've done little mini events with friends. I think that's what I'm gonna stick to now is smaller events that I organize for fun. Like I did the Minecraft lockout tournament. I did that purely because I just wanted to see more people play Minecraft lockout.
Minecraft Lockout's really good as well. I've watched the Staffio bingo as well. I know that's not specifically Lockout, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
I actually remember your Lockout event like very vividly. It's funny because I didn't even think to bring it up until you've just mentioned it there. And that's what I love about the podcast. You've hosted you've hosted 2, I could have sworn, or is there only 1?
I think I've hosted 1 Minecraft lockout tournament. I should do another one though.
You
That was
should,
fun.
yeah, that was a good. I remember watching. See, the thing about speedruns, and I do it a lot in your stream, and I do it a lot. I do it like I kind of alternate between the days or between the weeks if I'm watching, and it depends on who's live. When I'm editing a podcast up, I always have a stream, or when I'm recording a podcast, say you are live right now while recording, I'd pull up your stream and just watch it. Kind of like it's not distracting, but just to have something visual to look at while I'm talking, it just definitely makes it a lot easier. So it's always nice to have like your stream up or someone else's stream up. So I think another lockout, and if it's streamed at around about this time or a little bit later, it's like the perfect lurking material. Amazing. But we'll see. That could 1 like on this podcast, and SmallAnt will do another lockout. Sound good?
Okay.
With speedrunning then, on Minecraft specifically, what is your PB?
Let's see. My personal best, it's not incredible, but it was decent at the time. It depends on what rule set we're using, actually.
Yeah, I mean, just you feel free to mention any of like even if it's like an extension of a category or anything.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me just double check. I will
Doesn't
go
have to be like
scroll
base game RSG 1.16. It can be anything. Fastest to mine a tree if you really want.
Give me 1 moment to go and scroll and find. There it is. I found it. Okay. I think if we're using Dreams rule set, then my PB is 1331. But if we're not allowed to cheat, then my my personal best is I think around 15 minutes.
Oh.
So it's not great. I've been on I think sub 11 pace before. The dragon didn't perch, but I ended up I had to take a break from Minecraft speedrunning, not because I wanted to, but because I got into that grind every waking hour mode, and it ruined my hands for a bit. So I had to cool my jets, unfortunately.
You got into the pit of I can get a faster time. In this next run I will get a faster time, and then slowly your hands were like, yeah, please give me a break.
Yeah, my index finger started to go, or my ring finger started to go numb in my left hand, and I was like, well, I should probably my ring finger and started to go numb, and I was like, this is probably too much. I need to play a little less.
Do you ever get it like when editing up a video or playing where you suddenly become aware of your fingers and it's really frustrating?
I don't really notice until it's I don't really notice until after, I think. For me, whenever I have hand stuff, I'm so locked in that like I just don't even notice the pain. But then afterwards, I realize like, oh, I really overdid it. Like if I keep going, this will be a problem.
Well, what I was gonna say is like sometimes I'll be editing, right, and I'll be vibing out to music, blah blah blah, and then I'll take my hand off my mouse pad back on, and I'm like, why can I feel my fingers? Why can I feel my entire hand? Why am I aware that these are like? And it's so frustrating. But maybe that's just me. I'm sure there's someone out there who can relate anyways.
I think for me, it's after the act is done, I make the realization and then suffer a little bit.
You've played in some Minecraft tournaments, so you were in the return of MCC, which had the rename. It was on the Ant team, which was you, Ant Frost, and Venom, and Elena, if I'm correct, right?
That is correct, yeah. That's the crew.
How well did that team do?
I think we might have got third in that, which was pretty good. We were in a really bad place going into the final mini game, but then I think we did really well in Sands of Time and pulled up to third.
Let's have a look. Actually, I just remembered I can fact check it through the wiki. Very helpful. You played in MCC season 4 kickoff. You were on the Cyan team. Yeah, you came fourth.
Yeah, SmallAnts. We got fourth. Okay,
yeah. Which is still very, very good. I mean, you had did you have any like pop-off games yourself individually? I mean, top 5 teams in the highest Rush was good.
I think I got the highest Sands of Time ever.
Cyan Quality's got 5-1-1-8 in Sands of Time.
Yeah, I think my individual score in Sands of Time was particularly good. I remember people rewarding me for that, but I just had no idea what I did. I just wandered around and got a really good Sands of Time score. I don't know what happened.
That's annoying. It doesn't show like individual. I was about to check on the wiki, but I won't be able to find that quick enough, certainly. That's crazy. So you probably hold like the best time or one of the best times then for Sands of Time.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to double check, but I know I made it to some highlight videos because of my Sands of Time performance.
Yeah, well there you go then. So it was good if you made it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I remember actually watching you in the All Things MCC video. Yeah, you did a very, very good job in Sands of Time. I don't know why I've completely zoned out from that. You were like I think like the number 9th play on that season. Do you want to know a fun fact about MCC or about you and MCC?
Okay.
So a little while back, specifically, 3 months ago, I uploaded a video on InsideMC titled "How do MCC participants compare themselves?" At the end of it, I asked the players, the people in the video, who is one person you'd add to MCC, and a lot of the names that were mentioned ended up playing in MCC like shortly after. SmallAnt was one of them. I can't remember who specific. I think it might have been Feinberg who said you, possibly.
Nice.
So you made it into like an InsideMC short, which was called like tell something along the lines of like predicting MCC participants or something. So
I saw that short actually.
Yeah, I think you're in the thumbnail of it. Hold up. Yeah, you're literally full thing of views. MCC participants correctly predict the future. It was Fruitberries who said your name.
Yeah,
I can see you're literally in the thumbnail, and then Fruitberries' skin is behind. So which is kind of mental actually. It's funny.
Yeah. Good prediction.
Have you played in any other tournaments, like any of the old ones, like MC Saturdays or Mondays?
Not at MCC, but I've been in the occasional Block Wars. I don't know if I've ever cracked top 20 in that individual. I'm not a very good event player, I found. Like a lot of the mini games that are in sort of event style stuff, I'm not great at because it's pure execution quite often in those games, and I'm good on the mental side more often. But there's been a couple that have done well in. I was in MCL Minecraft League.
Okay.
Had like a $100,000 tournament for that. We won that one. But they said on the invite, they said invite any 2 people you want to be your teammates, and then we'll balance your team. And so I just invited Fruitberries and Feinberg.
Ah, yes, they're very balanced.
and so they gave us a person that had never played Minecraft. But
I don't think that matters.
they were just never played Minecraft, but they were smart. So we gave them a good role to just like stand and be support. I was like another sort of supporting character, and so we just loaded Feinberg and Fruit up with some like crazy gear, and they just could not be stopped. Essentially, we crushed. So I've been in like that one. I think there was another one where it was like a Skyblock event where like every 5 minutes we'd get a new challenge. I had just been like grinding out Skyblock at that time, and then we had a couple of really good people on the team, and I think we won that event as well. I don't remember exactly my teammates, but probably Feinberg. Whenever he's in an event, he wins. So Feinberg, Linkus, maybe Curry was there as well. But it was just Skyblock. We played through an event. I remember with that event, we finished it, and the organizers came into our VC and they said, "You finished that an hour faster than anyone had ever done it, including the testers that knew what was coming." So
Absolutely.
Two events I've definitely crushed in. Everything else, like any individual performance and like Block Wars, admitted events, man. The events are rough for me unless there's some good thinking.
But there's one, you have a one-off in Block Wars, so you've played it 4 times. In Block Wars 2, you came 37th. In Block Wars 5, you made Bridges, and when sadly you came 24th. In Block Wars Pride 23, you came 28th. But then in Block Wars Rookies 2, on a team with Actual Spliff, Simply Fur, Lil Aggie, and Lion Chew, you finished 8th individual. And you was mid-finale, but sadly, again, didn't win it.
Yeah, it turns out I am at that level where I can beat any casual player of Minecraft. But if they have put in any time into Minecraft, like competitively, I will lose 100% of the time. I'm in that awkward spot where I'm not good enough to be the best, but I'm better than every casual. That is the comfortable line that I'm at.
Yeah. Not like, I think it's a case of like, if you played Minecraft loads, you could be up there, but because you don't play it so much, you're better than the average player.
Yeah, like I for the longest time, I had this thing where this little complex in my brain where I was thinking, I'm not good at Minecraft. Like I can never win like any events or any competitions that I'm playing against these people. Like I felt very like my efforts were unrewarded. And was very, I don't know, I was a little uncomfortable because why am I putting all this time in if all these people are just beating me anyways? But at the time I was doing 1v1s against like Fruitberries, Feinberg, Curryway. Like every day, all they do is play Minecraft. And the thing that changed me and my mindset was that I got challenged to a Minecraft lockout from a group of friends. They just do lockouts like once a week. They said, "Hey, could we challenge you to a lockout?" I said, "Sure." And they said, "How many people do you want us to bring?" And I said, "As many as you think it takes to beat me." And they brought 6 people, and I won.
Oh.
And so after that, I realized, and I was like taking a 1v6 like combat where they just keep coming at me over and over and over again. And I realized that I'm not actually so bad. It's just that I'm facing the best people in the entire planet, and like they're gonna crush me because they are the best in the planet. That's all they do. So that changed my mindset on Minecraft. That one game of lockout kind of made me realize that maybe I'm not so bad. I'm just a little harsh on myself.
I reckon if you grinded the game non-stop, which you probably don't have the time for, or like I guess you would like to play different games, I reckon you could definitely be like up there with Vestias.
I mean, I think anyone can if they put enough focused effort in, yeah?
Yeah, but I mean, I think you just have that natural raw skill of just like kind of being good at different games your entire life. So I just think that as well kind of links into it. I that's my opinion though, you know?
I think the thing, if anything, I have that work where if I get interested in something, that is the only thing that exists, and I'm able to put 16 hours of focused effort a day into something, which probably is a bit of an edge.
Exactly.
I think it's not necessarily like a skill thing. I think it's more of I am able to dedicate that amount of time of like conscious focused effort.
With that then, I feel like we've done a pretty good job of covering everything, unless there's something you thought I was going to bring up that you wanted to talk about, or
nothing that I can think about really, unless you have anything else.
Well, we have some Twitter questions. I do actually have one more thing before we get into the Twitter question.
All right, what is the one more thing?
Something I just forgot to ask, and this is the only information I have. So I have someone who sometimes helps me do research, and everything I've known about except for this. They put his son's name is Chunky Runky, and that's all they gave me.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay, so I before I did any serious content creation, I would take occasionally I would take breaks from playing Little Big Planet when I had 3 viewers, and I would occasionally play the Legend of Zelda games for the first time. I didn't play Legend of Zelda or like Mario until I was like past 19 years old. For my first playthrough of those games, I especially the Legend of Zelda games, I would pick a name for Link that was slightly different. So the first time it was Lank, the next time it was was Lunk. The next time it was Runk. And I had some Swedish viewers in my chat that found Runk funny for whatever reason. And I just stuck with that. And eventually I ended up making an emote or Runk, which was just like the derpy me link face. And my sub badge was the head of an ant, but someone combined that emote and the head of the ant. And the head of the ant kind of made it look like it had arms and legs to make a body. So they made like this little creature of a Runk head and a body. And then someone in chat just in all caps said "Punky Runky," and everyone loved it. And then I got physical plushes made eventually, and it's my Minecraft skin.
And it just went from there.
It went from there, yeah. I have the Chunky Runky Minecraft account. Well, I have SmallAnt 1, Chunky Runky, and Wooper, actually. So, kind of a big deal.
There you go. Much lore behind Chunky Runky.
Yeah, a lot of steps, like everything else.
So, Twitter questions. Here we go.
Yes.
The first one then comes from the Shiny Dude.
Okay.
What was the hardest speedrun trick you've ever performed?
Hardest speedrun trick I've ever performed. I think in terms of difficulty, I have done a 0-star Super Mario 64 speedrun.
Oh.
Which if you know anything about that, beating the game with 0 stars requires a trick that is for like years it was thought to be impossible for humans. And then like people figured out a way to, but like, even the best people on the planet, they practice it for months, for years. The highest consistency that anyone gets is like maybe 5% success rate on this one trick. So I've done that one. I've done it once ever, but I think that could be an argument to consider the most difficult trick. In Super Mario Odyssey, I think the nut jump is pretty challenging. Wet nut jumping, that was the really difficult trick that I was talking about earlier that no one else had really been able to do other than like 2 people at the time. Really good timing. Wet nut jumping could be up there. I think it actually took me less time to get a nut jump for the first try than to do a 0-star run, so maybe there's an argument there. But other than that, I mean, it's got to be one of those two, I would say.
It's actually funny that you bring that up because another question is from MS Sunbird Girl. What is nut jump?
Okay, so what is nut jump? In Super Mario Odyssey, in the game, there are these large nuts about the size of Mario that if you throw them into a little like planter, a designated planter, they will grow into big vines and bring you to like a sub area of the game. But for whatever reason, if you throw them into a body of water, let them hit the floor in that body of water, then take them out, you can toss the nut. Then while it's still in midair, dive with Mario, and Mario will both grab the nut and bounce off of it at the same time, allowing you to throw the nut again, dive into it again, bounce off it, grab it, and repeat that process infinitely if you have really good timing. So it's an infinite height glitch that is incredibly difficult because if you mess up any of the timings, you just fall all the way down and have to restart. And in the speedrun that I do with it, if you mess it up, you just die. Just kills Mario and ends your run.
Oh god. Fair enough. The next one comes from Vegetable, I guess, to keep on topic here. I have no clue what any of these words mean. However, it's from Vegetable, so I'm going to trust them. What was the stupidest reason you lost a Nuzlocke / challenge like Kaizo Ironmon? No clue what they're on about.
Okay. Talking about Pokemon, so...
Okay.
What is the stupidest reason I have lost a run? I mean, there's only one thing that comes to mind. There is a single thing that comes to mind. The stupidest reason why I have lost a challenge, or at least lost an immense amount of progress, is I was beating Pokemon Platinum without taking damage. I had reached a point in the game where I had max level Pokemon halfway through the game, so I could basically one-shot everything. But there was this one Pokemon where if I hit it with an attack, it would just deal 25% of my HP back, because it had like a special ability. But I just needed to use a non-contact move, a move that didn't make physical contact with that enemy Pokemon. But all of my Pokemon's moves were physical contact. And so instead of like training up a new Pokemon to level 100, which at that time was perfectly safe, it was just a couple hour time investment. Instead of that, I just taught my Pokemon an 80% accurate non-contact move and used that, and it missed, and then they dealt damage to me. So I think I lost like 8 or 16 hours of time, basically.
Oh, crap.
Just due to laziness. Yeah, I had taken 16 hours to train them up to level 100, and so...
It should have been quicker, or it could have been quicker.
Well, I mean, I took damage, so I had to restart.
Oh, sorry, of course, yeah. Of course, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, it was rough.
There's 2 more then. One is from Delective. Why is your favorite Pokemon Wooper?
He's just a cute little dude. He's a cute guy. I have a fondness for cute little guys. My other favorites being Aeron, a little metal bug, and Klefki, little jingly keychain. They're all just cute little guys.
I'm a big fan of Snorlax. Love Snorlax.
Okay.
But I guess such a partial cop-out
Big
one.
guys.
But I don't know. I feel like he could just be nice and cuddly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the final one comes from Katie. What gets you motivated / energized to do your voiceovers for your videos? And in brackets they put, currently struggling with this, please help lol.
It depends. Certain videos, it's very easy. Like a stream ends and I just am immediately have that need. I want to record it right away. I write it out, and it's all very easier. And those ones are nice. But with certain other videos, just gotta sit down and do it. Like there's been a video that's been in the works for like 6 months that I keep trying to find the time to, but have excuses. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. It's really just for me, I just gotta sit down and say I'm going to do this for 5 minutes, and quite often those 5 minutes turn into an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes it's only 5 minutes, but I mean starting is the hardest part, I found. If you can get past that just starting point, then you're off to the race.
Do you enjoy script writing?
It's fun. That part definitely is sort of it's the thing that feels most like work in this job for me is the script writing for any post commentary videos. I enjoy it. I like when the story comes together in a satisfying way, but it is the part of the job that feels the most like work. Everything else is pretty effortless. That's one of the few things where I have to sit down and be like, okay, I gotta get this done.
When you have to turn on your brain a little bit and be like, okay, instead of just streaming or instead of doing this, or I mean, obviously you have to focus when you're doing speedruns and all this kind of stuff, but writing is just a different thing. I've started writing a blog for InsideMC, just talking about tournaments and stuff like that. And I've been writing one for the MCC one, which comes out tomorrow from recording this, hopefully. If not, I'll push it back to Thursday. But like, when it comes to writing, it's like a whole different ballgame, especially when others are going to read it. Because when you're recording over a script, it's like you can change what you're going to say. But with this, it's like, well, with blog writing, everyone's reading it, so...
Okay.
With that being said then, and that sadly brings the end of this week's InsideMC.
Oh, I appreciate the invite. Hopefully you got some interesting little tidbits in there from me.
And we got loads. I learned a lot about you. I mean, I knew a lot about you anyways from that sounds really creepy, didn't it? Not in that sense.
I mean, it's easy to access information, so fair enough.
I just knew a decent amount about you to be able to record a good podcast, and I hope you enjoyed. I think it's been really, really well.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Before I do the outro here then, for anyone who is just finding out about you and wants to find more of your content, where can people find you? Feel free to promote anything within reason here. Floor's yours.
I am basically on like YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, SmallAnt everywhere. So if any of this stuff sounded interesting, check it out. That's all I gotta say.
There we go. Thank you all for listening, and thank you so much for being an amazing guest, Svent.
Thank you.
All right. This has been InsideMC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Peaces.